Hi, once again. Welcome to Devotions with Pastor Joe, our chance to spend a bit of time talking about the subject of prayer. And we're using the Lord's Prayer as our guide today because it's such a fantastic summary that, and I think that Jesus designed it this way, for us in our prayer life so that we can guide ourselves so we know exactly how to pray. So we learn first got to praise, and then second, you got to submit to God's will. And then thirdly, he says we should pray, give us this day our daily bread. Now it's very specific, isn't it? Like he doesn't just say, because we can know our daily bread, the things that we need to eat and live, that the first thing we knew is we should, after praising and after submitting to God's will, then bring your needs before them, whatever they are. But notice how specific Jesus is about daily. Jesus is teaching us a way to, in a sense, understand our limited power in the future and how focusing too much on the future actually hurts us. It doesn't help us because, in a sense, we are so limited. We don't even know what's happening tomorrow. How can we even pray about tomorrow? We know that today that God has got us and that today we'll have our needs. I know that when I was learning about helping myself to meditate so I could become more focused, that one of the things that I was taught was, as you meditate, it's an important thing to do is to become aware of your body. And you think, well, why would that be? Well, the reason is when you focus in on your body, like the way that your feet are feeling, the way that your hands are touching something, the way that the temperature of the room, when you become aware of your body's feelings, what it does is it draws your attention from the thousands of other things out there that you're worried about and concerned about and making your mind busy. And it pulls you back to yourself in this moment. And that actually can bring your anxiety down a huge amount because instead of worrying about everything else, your thoughts are just on here in this moment. That is a very good practice to do. And that's what Jesus is telling us. Focus on today. Focus on the fact that God is providing for you today. In fact, later on in that same passage, Jesus says in verse 34 of chapter 6 of Matthew, he says, therefore do not be anxious about tomorrow, for tomorrow will be anxious for itself. Sufficient for the day is its own trouble. James also says, come now, in James chapter 4, he says, come now, you who say today or tomorrow we will go to such and such a town and spend a year there and trade and make profit. He says, you don't know what tomorrow will bring. And he says, what happens when we're planning so big, it's about human pride. We want to accomplish, we want these things. And with human pride comes human burden. It doesn't help us. It doesn't grow us. And so what Jesus is teaching us is to pray for our daily needs, for what we need in this moment. Are you aware of what you need in this moment? Are you aware of what your daily needs are? I think as you focus on your daily needs, first two things are going to happen. The first is you're going to be quite grateful that you probably have all that you need for today. But there also might be some gaps in your life. Maybe you need some forgiveness. Maybe you need some relationship mending. What are the things in this moment that are concerning to you? He says, now bring those daily things to God. Because prayer is not meant to be something that we kind of put a patch on for the next 50 years or the next week. That prayer is a daily thing because we are people who are alive in the now, today. What is happening today? Bring today to God. Bring your daily needs to Him. Maybe you want to do that right now. You want to just take a bit of moment, really think to yourself, what is my daily need today? What are the things that are on my mind for today? Tomorrow is another day. What about today? And as you do, I think you'll receive that peace and assurance that God is here in this moment with you now, and you don't need to worry about tomorrow. God bless you as you do that. I hope these things will help you grow. See you tomorrow.